Good evening, and welcome to a nighttime edition of the Motley Patriot. Anyway, all joking aside, in the spirit of Halloween, we're very happy to share with you the writings of Virginia Waldron. She has a Facebook page. She's very active about the history of Orange County, and she offered one of her writings to us to read. So I'm thrilled to share this evening with you tonight, even if it is on the heels of a rather spooky day. Anyway, again, I'll try not to be too campy, but I can't make any promises. It's hard to imagine that not too long ago, spirits and ghost like entities were commonly discussed amongst family and friends. Good and evil, the spirit world, was just another piece of fabric woven into our ancestral history and histories. Women with claims of being clairvoyant were of the norm, but likely still viewed by the majority of society as having gone mad or hysterical. A little excited there. Southerners painted their porches hate blue to ward off evil spirits. Some adorned their entryways with windows, with crosses, in an attempt to keep the paranormal world away. Shoes of those alive and deceased were encased into homes being built, and in some homes, like Tinker's Hollow, located in Lahore, antique mirrors were placed in the wall of a room and sealed. Stories of hexes and conjuring of spirits run deep in our country's roots. Early inhabitants, including those who were enslaved, held true to their spiritual beliefs, which wasn't always viewed as sane, but more along the lines of blasphemy. In New England, along the times of the Salem witch trials, superstitious men and women would have their windows on the upper levels of their home turned at 45-degree angles to ward off the witches. Some chimneys were even built with witches' crooks, where the chimney is literally built crooked and angled to keep witches from being able to fly down the flue, that being their main source of entry. Even today, we still practice common cleansing of our home's energies. Palo Santo is probably the most likely source of the smudging the evil out of one's dwelling. Our own country is steeped with ghost stories and tales, visions of women awaiting their soldiers who had gone to war never to return. Some antebellum homes, even battlefields, are said to be haunted by Civil War soldiers, wounded Confederates and Union forever lost to wander. Orange County, formed in 1734, has several homes known to be rumored to be haunted. Some tales still trickle down through oral history to the very descendants who still own or occupy the land. Joseph Halsey, a large landowner of 18th century, owned 3 local estates by the name of Lesland, Moreland, and Stillmore, all in the Rapidan Raccoon Ford area. Lesland, located not too far from the original county courthouse, has always been rumored to be haunted. An apparition of a long-past grandmother who still checks her roses on the front porch, and apparently a whole group of friends and family who are trapped in a purgatory on the front stoop. Another home called Newington, originally built by William Tolliver, which you may visually read as Taliaferro, has several recorded stories about the ghost of Mrs. Kavanaugh. Her burial plot was unknown until 1914, when Mrs. J.P. Walters ordered a garden area to be cleaned by one of her workers with his horse. This horse became trapped in a burial cavity, and the skeleton of Mrs. Kavanaugh was unearthed. That night, the ghost appeared to Mrs. Walters. The apparition had long black hair and deep blue eyes, and told Mrs. Walters of her own death in the upstairs bedroom. In the town of Orange, Montpeliso, now an old home converted into apartments, has been long rumored to be haunted by the nurses and the soldiers of the Civil War. The home was converted into a hospital during the Civil War. Many credible people who are open to such possibilities have experienced some sort of supernatural entity or encounter, whether it's an actual vision of a ghost, a strange fog, a mist like form drifting along, in their photos or videos. It's all in one's chosen perception and possibilities. The truth is, none of us really know, but some have had such profound experiences that it's hard to remain doubtful. Anyway, think about that this Halloween, and happy Halloween, and be careful out there, little trick-or-treaters and big trick-or-treaters too. Motley Patriot bringing you a spooky Halloween. TTFN.